Alright guys, so you seen the video of me living like a king over here in Asia. You know, the ladies love me, what can I say? And I'll be honest with you guys, man, I've been living this life for a while, man. I left America when I was in my early 20s, now I'm in my 30s. And I know a lot of you guys, you want this kind of lifestyle, right? But probably you've been sold a dream. You've been sold a dream of, let me work in a cubicle for like 20, 30 years, give my life to the system, and then maybe when I'm 65 years old, then maybe I'll finally be getting king treatment, right? Maybe I'll retire with a golden parachute, go overseas, you know, I'll get me a few girlfriends. But bro, you're forgetting the part. You're forgetting the part where you're in your 60s and you probably got to take, you know, prescription medication just to get fully erect, if you know what I mean. You don't want to do that when you're in your older age, man. You want to live like a king while you still got your young vitality, man. So some of you guys watching this, man, you're stuck in the system. You're giving the best years of your life, the years where you got your most sexual energy, your most sexual prowess. You're stuck in a cubicle for 8 hours a day when you should be, you know, probably ramming cheeks during that time. You're stuck in a cubicle like a good little boy, stuck in the system. Really, you need to be living a life of freedom. You need to get overseas like me, bro. You need to be over here while you're young enough to enjoy it. So let me tell you about the lie that a lot of us were sold, man. A lot of us were sold this lie in America, you know, give your life to a company, work 1,000 years at the company, they will pay you when you're old, you know, you gave your life to them, they're gonna pay you with a retirement check. I live over here in Pattaya, Thailand. I see a lot of guys who had that kind of program, man. They were on the program of giving their life to a company, and now that they're in their older age, they finally get to go overseas with their retirement check and live the life they should have been living like 40 years ago. I see it play out all the time, man. I also see guys who are young, man. I see guys who are in their early 20s who come over here, they broke out of the system, or they saw the system was a lie, and they're living like kings at a young age. Oh, by the way, in case you don't want to wait till you're 65 to finally enjoy life, I got a free 15-minute call. You can get on the call and map out how you can live this overseas lifestyle. I can show you like, hey man, this is a life you can be living. Here's how we can get you there in 30 to 90 days, maybe even faster. So click the link, set up a free 15-minute call. We can map out your escape plan, man. So I want to make sure I clarify, it's not that delaying gratification is a bad thing. It's that if you're delaying gratification to the point where you don't get to enjoy life at your full vitality, your full physical strength, like, you know, when you get older, your knees probably aren't working, your back probably aches for no reason, you wake up with muscle pains. That happens as you get older, man. So, you know, if you're waiting till you get to an old age to enjoy life, you might regret that. And I know a lot of you guys can relate, man. I know I can relate because I also had a cubicle job where, you know, I was around people who were much older than me. They had given their life to a system. They've been working in that company for so many years. And, you know, by the time they get to enjoy their retirement, I mean, their body is already falling apart from what I was seeing. And they're telling me, yeah, man, if I just make it 12 more years, I can make it to retirement. Look at this guy over here, man. This one dude, he's been working at this company, sitting at this exact same desk for the past 35 years. They're hoping to be like this guy, but I look at this guy and his life looks freaking miserable. I talk to other people at the company. They've been working at the company for over a decade. They hope that they work a couple more years. Their company's gonna reward them with an extra few days of vacation. That way they can have 2-week vacation once a year. And I'm like, what the heck? You've been giving your whole life for that, bro? You're gonna sit here and decay in the office every day. You're smoking cigarettes. You're stressed out, you're unhappy, you give them the best years of your life to this company. You could be, you know, cracking open cheeks on a regular basis like me overseas. You could be doing that, but instead you're in the States being a little cubicle ant, man. You're stuck in the little anthill, a rat in the rat race. Okay guys, so now we got this book called Die with Zero. It was written by this dude named Bill Perkins. The book outlines a different way of thinking than how most people think about life. A lot of people think like, let me get rich, let me spend time hustling, grind mode, sacrifice years of my life so I can get the millions. But the book makes you ask the question, what's the point of having all those millions of dollars if you don't get to enjoy them at your full vitality? Like if you've given up a lot of your life working to stack up money, and now, you know, you're in an older age, your body isn't working as well, and now you're finally gonna enjoy life. What if you had tried to enjoy life a little bit earlier, or you had thought differently about how you planned your life? Because a lot of people don't think that hard about how they plan their life. A lot of people just follow society's plan of, you know, work as a company and enjoy life when you're about to die. So one of the main points of Die with Zero is that money is most valuable when it can buy meaningful life experiences. Because what's the point of having millions of dollars if you're on your deathbed, right? Like, you might have hundreds of millions of dollars, but did you really get to enjoy it? For example, $10,000, that can buy you a meaningful life experience at the age of 30. Like, you can do a lot of stuff with $10,000. You might not need millions of dollars. You can just have a few $1,000s, and because you're at your peak age, you know, you're at a peak age where hopefully nothing's broken already, you got your energy, you can explore, you still have the desire to explore. $10,000 can do a lot for you. But if you're like 65 years old, $10,000 might not do much for you. Because think about it. A lot of people, as they get older, not only does their ability to do things decrease because the body starts to age, starts to decay, your desire to do things also might decrease. So for example, when you're like 20 years old, you might have a lot of stuff you want to do. You might want to backpack around the world. You might be okay sleeping in like a dirty hostel with like a bunch of strangers. You know, when you're in your 20s, you might be excited to do that. But when you're in your 50s and 60s, you might be like, heck no, I'm not hiking no mountain. Heck no, I'm not staying in no dirty hostel with a bunch of other people. So you need a lot more money to enjoy yourself at that age, but you also have less desire to do things. So if you spent your whole life grinding to make a ton of money and you finally get to enjoy things when you're older, you might find out like, hey, there's actually not a lot of stuff I want to do. Like when I was younger, I wanted to do all this stuff. I wanted to party until 8 in the morning. I wanted to like hook up with a bunch of chicks. But when you get older, your desire might fade and you're like, dang, I spent all this time getting all this money. What the heck am I even gonna do with it? So a lot of guys look at their 20s and 30s as their peak earning years, but they're not just your peak earning years, they're also your peak living years, because that's when you can go on, you don't need as much sleep, you can go to the gym, you can train hard, you have the energy to travel hard, you know, you can probably bang chicks all night. You got that kind of vital energy that you won't have as you get older. So I'm not advising that you live like a brokey, that you go broke in your 20s and 30s. I'm advising that you think about how you plan out your life, so it's not just one or the other. Like, it's not just live like a bum who travels around and lives on $500 a month ramen noodles, and you're not necessarily the guy who's like in the office 80 hours a week giving up all your life just for money. You got to think about how you can plan it. You can go in cycles. Like maybe sometimes of the year you might work harder, maybe sometimes of the year you might work less, but you got to think about how you want to plan your life. It's not just A or B. You can do a mixture of both. And that's where this idea of geographic arbitrage comes in, because geographic arbitrage, if you come from a rich Western country like America, you have a lot of opportunity to go over to other countries and live for a way lower cost of living while still making a higher income than the local people there, because you have the dollar earning power on your side. So for example, in America, you might need $5,000 to $7,000 a month to maintain your life. But overseas, like for example, in Southeast Asia, South America, you can live on like $1,300 to $1,800 a month, and you're living like a king. You're living like you know, royalty over here on that amount of salary. And that amount of salary is relatively easy to get for us Americans, because we have access to the American market. We have access to earning income streams that can get us that. Like for example, I do English teaching overseas, and with English teaching, you don't really need to work that much. You can make really good money, especially relative to your cost of living. So basically in America, if you need like a couple $1 million to retire, you can retire overseas for way less, man. Like think about it, if you're living over here, you can kind of live a mini retirement already, because you might wake up, just work a couple hours on whatever you're doing. That generates enough money for you to live comfortably, and then you can spend your spare time if you want to develop other streams of income. If you want to spend your time chasing girls, if you just want to wake up by the beach, walk on the beach, you know, hear the waves crashing, you can do that. So while an American worker might work all year just for a 2-week vacation, if you're living overseas, basically every day is a vacation, man. Like for me, it's normal to just be able to go to the beach whenever I want. It's normal for me to be able to bounce from country to country. Like me and my friends, we went on a trip to Bali. We just, hey man, let's go to Bali this week. And, you know, we all bought plane tickets, went to Bali that week. I went to Japan, me and some bros hung out. You can do that kind of stuff overseas. Like every day is basically a vacation for you. And you don't have to wait until you're in your 60s to enjoy it. You can enjoy it a lot faster than that. You can enjoy it at a lot younger age. So personally, what I recommend for helping you get this at a very young age, I started off doing English teaching. I left America 12 years ago. I went to South Korea for 1 year, then China for 10 years, and now I'm here in Thailand teaching 100% online. I started off teaching English in the classroom. English teaching is the fastest way for us Americans to get overseas making money. It provides you very stable income. There are tons of jobs because there are thousands of students. English is the language of the world. Everybody wants to learn it. So you have a lot of opportunity to get work as an English teacher. And when you work as an English teacher, you don't really have to work that much, honestly. Like, I've had like lots of different jobs, guys. Like, unless I really want to, I don't have to work that many hours. And I can live extremely comfortably, have a nice life. You know, my job is stress-free. I have a lot of other side hustles that I'm doing. I got my own travel products. I make content. There's a lot of stuff you can do on the side, even if you don't want to just relax all day by the beach. You can probably build up other income streams. But the point is, you can live overseas for a much lower cost of living and have a great lifestyle over here without needing to wait until you're retired. You don't need to be a millionaire to do this. You can do this at a lot lower cost. So yeah, if you're interested in this lifestyle, I help guys get into English teaching. I've been doing it for 12 years myself. I help other guys get overseas doing it, like in person and online. There are tons of opportunities. Click the link for the free 15-minute call. We can get on the call and map out how you can do this. Honestly, you can get overseas pretty fast, man, like 30 to 90 days. Like for a lot of you guys watching, you could be overseas by the beach enjoying a nice time, hearing the waves crash. You know, I'm about to go get some food, man, and, you know, enjoy a nice life over here, low cost of living. And just living a stress-free life, man. I've basically been retired ever since I was in my 20s, man. I don't have to work that stressful American life, man. I can pretty much not work that much, work part-time and live a great life overseas. And yeah, I got a free Quickstart English Teaching guide I made for you guys. It breaks down the money you can make with English teaching, the different types of jobs, the countries you can live in, the kind of lifestyle you can have. Go to the pinned comment and description of this video, the free Quickstart English Teaching guide, man. And guys, I really want to emphasize to you guys, man, there are a lot of young guys who do this lifestyle, man. I started in my early 20s. I'm seeing other guys who come overseas who are doing it the same way I did it. You know, the secret is starting to come out, man. Like, you don't have to wait until you're retired to enjoy life. You get overseas and meet all kind of opportunities. And English teaching, it funds you, man. English teaching funds you so that you can have a stable income, be over here enjoying life. If you want to do other things on the side, build up a lot of side hustles, you can. There's a lot of opportunity you can get from English. I'm providing these resources for you. Click the link, set up a free call, get the free Quick Start guide. And yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys overseas, man. See you in the next video.